Good evening. My name is Doug White, the Academic Director of the Hyman Center here at New York University. And with me right now is our distinguished guest tonight for our global conference, Dame Stephanie Shirley, the founding ambassador for philanthropy from Great Britain. Welcome to New York.
Thank you very much, Doug.
It's very nice to see you.
Really super to be here again.
We have a very interesting agenda tonight.
Yes.
You're the keynote of it all. And my burning question is, as the ambassador for philanthropy from Great Britain, what are some of the major lessons or insights that you've had over the last couple of years?
I suppose the first surprising thing was how philanthropists really do not have a voice. The charities are well represented, everybody knows about them, there are a lot of intermediaries, but the philanthropists themselves, the ones who actually drive everything and make it happen, were not represented. So one of my aims has been to give philanthropists a voice, and that has extended to giving philanthropists worldwide a global voice, and including the United States, which generally is considered to be ahead of Britain.
Generally, but that might not last long.
Well, we have an ambassador. We also are thinking of having a National Day for Philanthropy, which USA and Canada has. The difference, I suppose, is that we're coming from a different place. We're learning to talk about strategic giving. We're not reacting so much as here in the States to the economic downturns. Interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder, you began this a long time ago. Your philanthropic history goes back a very long time.
Well, I had a social business really with a social purpose that eventually made a lot of money and floated on the main London exchange. But I found that giving money away really made the wealth that I had created much more significant. And I got fairly structured about what I was doing. I am a scientist, and so decided to give only to things that were pioneering, only to things that are strategic, and in fairly large chunks, because I have given away already more than $100 million, and more to come, I hope. With great pleasure. I so enjoy being able to make things happen.
Well, I think an example of that is your pledge over 20 years ago. Yes. You know, just a year ago here in the United States, we had a bunch of billionaires get together and say, let's give half of our wealth away. 20 years ago, you said, I'm going to give 100% of my wealth away. Yeah. What inspired that dramatic statement?
Well, it's slightly different in that we're talking about millions rather than billions, and that does make a difference. Also, I have no family surviving me because my late son, who triggered a lot of my work in the field of autism, is no longer with us. That makes it easy. I found it a very easy decision to make, and everybody knows it's going to happen.
You know, one of the things that is a little different for me is that I call this wonderful grand woman Steve. And some people who like you and love you do call you Steve. Would you explain why that is? After all, your name is Stephanie.
I started a very different sort of company in computer software back in 1962, when software was given away free with the hardware, and people laughed at the idea that I should try to sell software. And I did have a very tough start in the business, a very traditional entrepreneur. Nobody replied to any of the letters that I sent out. And my dear husband suggested that I abbreviate Stephanie to Steve, and so people receiving letters thought they came from a Steve Shirley, and didn't realize until I walked through the room that he was a she. And that seemed to make a difference to the company's success, and I've been Steve ever since with a great deal of pride.
Well, let me ask you one last question then, Steve. Let's go out to the future here. I know you're doing a lot of important work. You've talked to the White House just yesterday. You're trying to get the idea of an ambassador for philanthropy from a lot of countries. How do you think that's going to go in the next few years?
Well, I've set an aim really to have 5 in situ by the end of the year, and I think I can overachieve that aim in this year. I wouldn't have said that a few months ago. But I would think by the end of 2011 we'll have 5 in situ, and then the rest, a lot of discussion goes into setting up an ambassador, how they're going to fit into the culture, both tax-wise and culturally, with each individual country. So it should be fast.
Well, at the Hyman Center, we really hope that you are successful.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight. It's an honor for you to be here, and I am particularly honored because I've known you for so many years. And every time I think of you, I think of wonderful things. So
lovely.
Thank you very much, and welcome to the Hyman Center.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.